رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Welcome to In the Light of the Quran. We do an overview of the recitation for the 22nd night of Ramadan, covering the 26 juz of the Holy Quran. The surahs covered in the recitation tonight include Surah Ahqaf, the sandhills, Surah Muhammad, the Prophet, Surah Fatah, the victory, Surah Al-Hujurat, the apartments, Qaf, and Surah Al-Dhariyat, the first portion thereof, which means the winds that scatter. Surah Ahqaf is the 46th chapter in the chronological order of the Holy Quran. The Ahqaf are the long and winding tracts of sandhills, like those in the country of the Aad people adjoining Hadramaut in Yemen. These Aad people probably had a fertile, irrigated countryside, but their corruption brought annihilation to their community. Allah reminds us that He has created everything purposefully and created everything for just ends. We are also reminded that truth is unchangeable, though perspectives to the truth may vary and differ. We are instructed to be kind to parents and never to forget their sacrifices that they have made for us. And then Allah reminds us that He ranks people according to their sincerity of their deeds. Do not be arrogant like the Aad, who rejected the truth brought to them by the Prophet Hud, and the Aad people ended up dejected. The 10th year of prophethood was a year of extreme persecution and distress in the Prophet's life and in the life of those around him. After 3 years of intense, uninterrupted, merciless, crippling boycott in Mecca, where the Prophet and his Banu Hashim family and followers were mercilessly confined to Shib Abu Talib, his protective uncle, and then his beloved wife passed away, which was the year of sorrow, the Aam al-Huzn. Abu Talib and Khadija was a tremendous loss to the Prophet. After the death of Sayyidah Khadija and Abu Talib, the disbelievers of Mecca became more audacious against the Prophet. They started treating him even more harshly. He went to Taif, where he preached the message. They scoffed him and stoned him till he bled. He prayed, "O Allah," a very famous dua, "Allahumma inni ashku ilayka da'fa quwwati wa qillatu hili wa hawani 'ala an-nas ya arhamar rahimin anta rabbul mustada'afin wa anta rabbi." O Allah, to Thee do I complain of the feebleness of my strength, of the lack of my resources, and of my being seen unimportant in the eyes of these people. O most merciful of those capable of showing mercy, Thou art the Lord of the weak and the oppressed, and Thou art my Lord. And the Prophet turned to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this sincere and heartfelt prayer. The angels suggested that the Prophet invoke the punishment of Allah upon them. And the Prophet replied, pardoning his abusers, and instead of being resentful said, "La asallah ay yukhraja min aslabihim man ya'budullah." He said, "No, I will not curse them. If they do not believe, perhaps someday their offspring would believe." And he said, "Inni lam ub'ath la'anan, innama bu'ithtu rahmatan." I have not been sent to curse people. I have been sent as a mercy. And that's why the poet captures the prophetic behavior in the words, "Salam un par jisne gali sunkar du'ai di." Salutation on the one who listened to the abuse of people and the insult of detractors and yet prayed for them. This Taif was the first town outside Mecca that the Prophet went to preach Islam, and Taif was the last town to accept Islam in his lifetime. The surah was revealed around that period. The next surah is Surah Muhammad. Surah Muhammad was revealed around the first year after Hijrah, when the possibility existed that the pagan Meccans might wipe out the Muslims. This surah, with the two that follows, deal with the Ummah's interfaith and intra-faith relations. That those who believe and do good, Allah will remove their ills from them and improve their condition. Allah will guide those who fight for the cause of truth and in the path of justice. The hypocrites have this habit of paying lip service to Islam and to their faith, but fail to act upon what they proclaim, such hypocrisy is condemned. Serve Islam sincerely, otherwise there will be those other than yourself who will serve the cause of Allah. The 48th chapter in the chronological order of the Quran is the victory, Al-Fatah. This surah was revealed after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, which was signed in the 6th year after the migration of the Rasul, and was signed between the Muslims and the Meccan pagans. Hudaybiyah, by the way, is a plain, a short day's march to the north of Mecca. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, together with about 1,500 followers, wanted to perform the Umrah. The treaty that followed was a great moral, social and political victory for Islam, despite the fact that they were prevented from entering Mecca. We are reminded that victory comes from calmness of mind, sincere faith, devotion, bravery, courage and patience, as shown at Hudaybiyah. Greed and faint-heartedness can never bring victory. The reward for service cannot always be measured by immediate results, but it shows itself in many ways eventually if you are patient. We are reminded, be unyielding in your fight against evil, yet be kind and gentle among yourselves. Surah Hujurat, or the inner rooms or apartments, is the 49th chapter in the order of the Holy Quran. This surah was revealed around the 9th year of Hijrah, towards the latter part of the Prophet's life, when many deputations of all kinds came to Medina to visit the Prophet, some to offer loyalty to him and to embrace Islam. The word Hujurat, which occurs in verse 4, the inner rooms, brings to attention the importance of respect in intimate circumstances, respect for legitimate appointed leadership, and brings to our attention that we should be aware of the dangers of rumors. We're asked not to accept malicious information without verification. We are requested to make peace between contending parties, but make peace with justice. We are reminded that believers are a single fraternity and ikhwah. Do not laugh, speak ill, make wounding remarks, or call each other by offensive nicknames. Avoid suspicion as far as possible. Do not spy on one another, nor speak ill of each other behind their backs. We are reminded that all human beings are descendants from one male and female. Certainly, the most honorable of all human beings in the sight of Allah are those who are most righteous. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. Being a believer does not mean paying lip service, but by accepting Allah's will and striving in His cause. That is what a believer is all about. By accepting Islam, you neither do Allah nor others a favor. Rather, you do yourself a favor because it is a guidance for your benefit. Surah Qaf, which takes its title from the letter Qaf, the alphabetical letter. We now come to a group of Meccan surahs, beginning with Surah Qaf, dealing with Allah's revelation through nature, history, wisdom, and the information that we receive from the mouths of prophets and awareness about the hereafter. We are reminded that resurrection and accountability is a reality of our existence. We should learn from the lessons of how past people and then those who rejected Allah were destroyed, and take heed of those good ones who did righteous deeds and follow the righteous ones, and how they were rewarded and how they were successful. Every deed of every human being is noted. Death will open our eyes to reality. As the Prophet said, الناس نيام فإذا ماتوا انتبهوا. Many people are asleep. When they die, then only they wake up. We are also reminded the fruit of good deeds will eventually be paradise. Surah Al-Dhariyat, the first portion of thereof, the scattering winds. This surah deals with many ways in which truth is successful at times, at all times, even against tremendous odds. The winds may be strong or gentle, blowing, scattering, lifting, rushing, dispersing matter in all directions. But Allah's purpose remains one. Look at the signs around you and you will see Allah's sovereignty and His unicity. Look at the history of the past people and learn lessons from them. Those who believe find value and profit in their lives. And those who do not heed Allah's signs, the loss is but their own. I thank you. Shukran. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان